Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Nope, not that one. It's been a while since I filmed on this. Let me try again. Boop boop. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Breaking Bedrock. My name is Fiasco. Thank you so much for joining me today in our new bedroom. What up? Yeah, we actually decorated in here, and I think it's looking pretty beautiful. I must have been looking at my armor when I came up with the color palette because it turned out very purple. For reasons I can't describe, this is what I've gone with, and I actually kind of like it, considering this was just dead space before, and then I hid all of our sorters in behind there. So yeah, kind of a different little project for me, but that's done. As well, I have also been doing a little bit more terraforming, and I have been using the lovely, beautiful moss block because it spreads through bone meal, and I don't have to manually replace all of the mycelium. So I have decided, let me get a better view. We're going to kind of do a bit of a sub-biome type thing here, where down there, it's kind of like the lowland area of this, like up on these hills, it would be a bit drier. So down in kind of more the lowland areas was where we're going to put the moss. So it'll probably spread over all the way to about there-ish, and then anywhere that it gets a little bit higher up will still be grass. That'll just save me a little bit of trouble. It gives it kind of a different color palette, and I think it looks pretty cool. We'll also work on that town down there a little bit more in the future. The road just kind of ends right there, but I haven't really needed this space down there for anything else. But as we need it, we'll pop things in down there. I've also expanded the beach over there with some sand because I think that looks pretty good oh no, I ran out of rockets. With the shoreline over here. We'll also texture this deck at some point. It's bothering me how simple and plain it is. Let me land. See if I can get myself some more rockets. Also, this is what happens when you're careless with your bone mealing. These must have been cobblestone or something. Or regular stone or something. I don't know what these were, but they are moss now. So I'll have to fix that at some point. But on to today's episode. I have actually been looking forward to this episode for a while because I've been kind of thinking about how I want to do this world. Now that we have kind of a base of operations, not necessarily a mega base, but an area where we store our stuff and kind of have some working farms and things like that. Now that I have got myself essentially a good starter house, I can branch out and do a few other projects that I want to work on. Now, what I would like to try to do is incorporate a decent amount of technical stuff and building. I myself am more of a builder traditionally. I don't usually figure out technical stuff on my own. Usually I follow someone's tutorial for that kind of stuff. Not to say I'm incapable of it, I'm just certainly not as good as other people. So it's usually, I'm never going to make something that's more effective than something that someone's already released a tutorial on. Anyways, we're at the island area that I want to build in next. And by islands, I mean Shattered Savannah. And it's this little cove right here that I'm interested in. Because, kapow, right there is a witch hut. Which is just a funny location for it. So on top of the fact that there's a bunch of floating islands, beside one of those floating islands is a witch hut. And look at that. That's one of our targets right there, her black cat. I gotta make sure that we don't kill that because the only place you can get black cats is at a witch hut, I believe. Don't quote me on that. There might be other ways, but I'm pretty sure that's the only way. So we are going to make a witch farm. And what I'd like to do for the witch farm is build a functional farm and have it look pretty. Because like I said, this is going to be our pirate cove. So I'm going to theme the area around kind of a bit of a pirate theme. It's a pirate's theme for me. And I think I have an idea for how this witch farm should work. Now, it is going to need some retrofitting because it has to go into the water a ways, but I think a big old pirate ship right there would look pretty cool. So I'm going to build the witch farm, and then we are going to see if we can kind of retrofit a big old pirate ship around it. But first, we got to get that cat away from that nasty old swamp hag, because I want it. I want it for my house, for my swamp. Or maybe we'll keep it around here. I don't know. But let's get that cat. Another thing you'll notice that's different is I have put a roof on this bad boy and started to display our diamonds on top. And yes, it's solid. It's still not a lot of diamonds, even solid. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, I did just immediately lie to you. There was a beacon coming up here before. That's why it's not actually solid. But I'll fill that in as soon as I can. Egg on my face. How embarrassing. Okay, Operation Rescue That Kitty is underway. All I gotta do is get down there, kill the witch, take the kitty, and we are good. So let's just go ahead and... Oh, don't... It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Get in the boat. There we go. Yes, queen. Oh, don't want to push you into a wall. Okay. So let's just get rid of all this. I don't think we need any of these anymore. Get in the boat with my new friend. And we are set. Perfect. Let me know what this little guy's name should be. Either way, we're just going to leave this little fellow right here for now, and he should be fine because these cats should stay persistent. I don't think I need to name tag them. Kind of weird spawning mechanics with those fellas. All right, on to the kind of less interesting part, turning this into a farm. And I'm not going to time-lapse it or anything because... Quite frankly, it's not that interesting, and I'm going to be following someone's tutorial, so it won't be a very smooth time-lapse either. So, this is going to be a farm in 3, 2, 1. It's done. It's done. It's right there. That was it. Now, how am I going to get back to my stuff? Well, in any case, this is the whole farm. So... It doesn't look like much right now. Bear in mind, this pole doesn't need to be there. That is going to be the mast of our ship. So I just wanted to kind of I flew around and made sure that it would be about the right height. I kind of figured it would be about 40 blocks for a mast on a ship that's going to be pretty decently sized. It might even go a little bit taller. But yeah, that pole is, believe it or not, there for decoration. I know, isn't it pretty? So the storage system is obviously leaves a little bit to be desired, but we will figure that out when we have the ship's hull in place, because I'm pretty sure, let's just turn that off, I am pretty sure the storage system is going to have to go inside the hull of this ship. So that will be the mast, at least one of them, and then the bow of the ship will be this way. I think that that'll be a good orientation for the ship. So if we give a little flyby, ship's just going to be kind of nestled in there as if it sailed in between that swampy thing and then this floating island here. And I might need to take down some of this floating island, if not this whole one. I can mob proof them so that the rates aren't impacted, but just depending on how big the ship is, it might not make sense for that island to be there. It might be cutting it pretty close. So now all I need to do is figure out how to build a pirate ship and put one right here, and also make it big enough so that I can put a fairly large and moderately complex storage system inside of it. That should be fine though, because we're going to get a lot of really good drops. Wah! Wah! I suck at flying. This is basically the drops that I'm interested in. You get a lot of potions of healing, which I don't really care about. The design that I kind of followed, but not really, is by Silent Whisperer, and he does a more complete version where it's a lot more sophisticated and you get better drops from it. It's probably a little bit more efficient as well. But I just did kind of a dumbed down version just because I don't need so many fire resistance potions. These things, they crank out a lot of potions, and I just don't need them. So most of these are just going to go straight into lava. But this other stuff, yes, this is all good stuff here, except for sugar. I don't really care about sugar that much, but still, good to have. So I'm going to get working on this ship and just kind of lay out the size of it, I think, first. And because I'm making this up on the fly, it won't make a very interesting time-lapse either. The next time I have a build kind of planned out, we'll do that. I know those are always a lot of fun to watch. But right now, it's just going to be me scratching my head, figuring out how to build a ship. I know I've built one before, but I was kind of following a picture for that one, and I want to make this one an original. So whether it's ugly or nice-looking, Sink or swim, it's up to us. So I'm going to go back to base, get a few blocks, and come back here and start working on our pirate ship. And just because I haven't showed it yet, I'll take you through the nether. I just finished setting up the portal, and I have moved my nether hub, in quotations, up to Y level 100 when you're on the portal. I did this for a number of reasons. Well, that's not really true. I did it for one reason. It's easier to do it this way. I'm going to be building an actual kind of hub system at some point. There's our hole that we put up there earlier. And I want it up here. It's just an easy number to remember. If everything is at 100, it's a lot easier to find your way. So I have kind of marked out a few paths here, and that lantern there currently signals our witch farm, which I haven't lit yet. But I was clearly very confident that this would work because I haven't tested it yet. I have gotten calculations wrong before, though, so let's hope it puts us in the right spot. Yes, one of our fun little floating islands here is the perfect home for our nether portal. I might move it in the future, but it's cool there for right now. So I have gathered a series of supplies, including some of our many boxes of wool, and then we've got just like miscellaneous building blocks that I think would work well for a pirate ship. It's pretty easy. It's mostly wood, as most old ships are, so I'm going to try and find ways to make it unique and cool, but at the same time still looking very much like a ship should. And I have noticed from the times that I have built ships in the past, I have a very hard time figuring out how far into the water a ship should go. And there's actually not a ton of water here, so we're going to have to suspend our belief a little bit in thinking that it kind of went through that way. It doesn't really matter, though. I won't think too much about that once it's in place. But yeah, I need to make sure that I start with it low enough in the water. Maybe it'll even be like kind of, what do they call it? Marooned? No. When it's like up on a sandbar and can't move anymore. There's a word for it. Anyways, that's enough rambling from me. Let's begin construction. And here is our building update. I have done a lot of work on the ship, and it's looking pretty cool. Not bad at all for kind of freehanding it. Obviously, there's some shapes that don't make sense. I think the hull is a little bit too big. And a little bit too far into the water. Unfortunately, I struggle to get those dimensions correct each time. However, no one could say that this thing isn't buoyant. If anything, it's taken on water. In fact, let me show you. It quite literally has taken on water. If we come over here and plop down here, it's flooded. This is a sinking ship. So, yeah. We'll get that cleared out. This is where the storage system is going to go, by the way, and I might need to get a little bit creative because I don't think this is actually wide enough for the item filter that I usually use. So I think Silent might have a different design. I'll probably just borrow his. I already checked this wandering trader. He has junk, and I just killed another one of them. They love it around here. Now, I don't have a name for this ship yet. Same with the cat. Maybe we'll name them both the same thing and bring the cat to our base and leave the ship here. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. Now, I have just been working on this front because this doesn't look right to me. This doesn't really, it's not working. But I don't know how to fix it. I think I might need to take it down a little bit farther off the front. I don't know. I'm going to keep working that out. But basically, this is how I've been doing the whole thing. Let's go for a ride, little guy. We can show people around. I also got to try not to break these lily pads because I've been using them to get myself out of the water because I don't have a trident. So as you can see, we just started with kind of a frame of the spruce wood and then using the spruce underneath and mixing in some oak just so it's not so one palette. And I think that works really good, especially in this lower section here. And then in our cabin of the ship, going with the dark oak body and then just kind of detailing the heck out of it. And I'm actually pretty happy with how the little thing up top turned out. Don't do that to me. I need you. Maybe I won't use that boat anymore. Stupid rubber banding issues they can't seem to fix. Yeah, I kind of worked on... So all of this has to be spawn-proof is the thing. I had a lantern above the box that my witch hut was in, and it kind of killed it. I don't know, the light shouldn't have been traveling through the blocks. They were solid blocks, and yet it did. So I can probably have some lanterns a little bit farther down there, but I didn't want to put any up here. So the whole ship is going to be spawn-proof, which is why it's kind of wonky with things like this. Here is our steering wheel. Steering wheel? Is that what they're called? I gotta look at my pirate lore. And then just accomplishing this with stair blocks, slabs, and then the trapdoors. And I think that works pretty good for a railing. It's not the most conventional railing in the world. Probably wouldn't be very handy in an actual pirate ship. But I thought it turned out quite nice for being spawn-proof. So I'm pretty darn happy with the back half of this ship. I need to shape this a little bit. This is not working for me. And then we need to put our masts in, and we're looking pretty good. Now let me explain some of the technical stuff. So that block of obsidian right there is our original AFK spot, which is pretty much above that mast. Now let me explain to you why that's not going to work the way I wanted it to. This mast cannot be taller than this mast. I tried it and I thought, oh, maybe we'll do a ship where that mast is taller. It just looked terrible. As soon as I cut that mast down, they looked so much better. This looks like an actual proper ship dimension. It looked ridiculous before. So, not an issue. We just move our AFK spot and we make sure that enough stuff is spawn-proofed around it so that it won't kill the rates of our farm. And I honestly don't think it's going to. As long as the interior of the ship is spawn-proofed, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot to worry about. I'll put some sea pickles down and we should be good to go. I have done some AFKing, and the farm isn't as efficient as I really wanted it to be, and that's probably because of the modifications that I made to Silence Design, but it does work. It works, it just doesn't work as fast as I thought it would. Ignore the bones, probably skeletons spawned in there as well. Now, ideally, we're going to have a few ships in this harbor, and some sort of structure or a reason for these ships to be visiting this port. So we're going to need to, like, build maybe, like, a dock area around here somewhere, and a little tiny pirate town where these pirates come to, hawk their wares and, get drinks and things like that. That's kind of my idea for this area. I don't think I'll do a whole amount of building on there. Maybe just some bridges kind of in between and little shacks here and there, just to make it look like people live there. But really, this I like as a backdrop, which means I kind of need to decide where the focal point of this place is going to be. And I'm thinking maybe just dead center of this cove, I pop down kind of a pirate shanty town on stilts. That would be very cool. However, that probably won't be in this episode because I've got a lot of work to do just on this one little ship. And we're already kind of running out of video time so far. So let's jump back on into it and see if we can get this ship just a little bit tweaked up to a slightly nicer shape, the front end and the masts included. And a short while later, this is what we have come up with. As you can see, much different now, in my opinion, much better. So let's just go over the changes. The masts are up with the sails, with our F for Fiasco, and my attempt at a skull and crossbones. I think it's kind of cute. I'm not sure. I might change that in the future, but it's cute for now. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Sails are very hard to do and took a long time. This was a very time-consuming part of the process, probably almost as much time as the rest of the ship put together. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think that's called a flying jib, that weird sail at the front of the ship. Don't at me if it's not. I don't really care. That I'm very happy with. It's kind of hard to get depth, to see what's going on because of the black wool. There isn't a lot of opportunity to, see really what's up, but the shapes are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. And then some pretty simple designs up here for our main sails. Now, if you want to AFK at this place, you just go up here, and this is actually your AFK spot here in the Crow's Nest, that's what it's called. I remember pirate things just fine, thank you. So I have tested it out. It does work if I'm up here. I just need to go and kind of spawn-proof everything else just to make sure that our rates are primo. And that is going to include down here in our waterlogged hull. So I think we're just going to do the fun thing and spam these sponges everywhere because these make getting rid of water a lot easier, a lot more enjoyable. As long as they don't kind of fix themselves. And then that one, there's nothing I can do about for now, because that's how I've been getting in and out. Although I guess I have that, so I can probably fix this hole now. Oh, that's fun. I didn't know that it did that. That's a wet sponge. That shouldn't be happening, should it? Well, anyways, we are going to need to spawn-proof all of this down here, but what I would like to do is kind of be smart about it if I can. Unfortunately, the method that I wanted to use doesn't appear to work the way that I want it to. So this is an add-on that makes use of armor stands, and it should have more functions than it currently does, and I can't figure out why. But we've made it 1,895, almost 1,900 days in game. I mean, come on. Love that. So this should give me the spawning sphere around our AFK spot, which would have just made it a lot easier for me to spawn-proof. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. We can just do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to grab a bunch of slabs and some lanterns and things like that, and then we are going to get to spawn-proofing, and I don't think I'm going to do that on camera, because it would be boring. This is basically the gist of the episode, folks. I am going to probably set up a, get out of here, llama, a sorting system underneath the ship, and that's basically it. Not super exciting, so I'm going to cut it off here. On another note, I need to update my game to the new update, which patches the furnace bug. If you were using that, there are no more furnace gods. Those gods are dead. But there will be new bugs. Don't worry about it. We'll get our XP easily somehow. In the meantime, though, I'm going to get cracking on this bad boy. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Fiasco, and I'll catch you in the next one.